Good afternoon, everyone, and you're welcome to the first of 3 sessions of Money Smart Beginners Program. I'm so glad that you've chosen to equip yourself in this area. Finance, money, it's quite important that you equip yourself in this area. So I'm glad you've chosen this program. This workshop or this program itself is brought to you by Course for Children Limited. And I would like to use this opportunity to tell you a little bit more about us and about myself. I am Titi Omole, and I am the founder and CEO of Course for Children Limited, which is a not-for-profit organization. And our mission is to empower our youth to thrive. Apart from leading this charitable cause, my day-to-day work is around project management, and I've got experience in business and data analysis in IT industry. Now, in that slide, that's if you're wondering who I am the one in the blue dress, enjoying a handshake with Mr. Stephen Timms, one of our reputable MPs, leaders in the United Kingdom, and that was taken during one of our events, the True Little Hero Awards, which is another event I will talk about. But before I talk about True Little Hero Awards, just to let you know that Course for Children Limited, we are into equipping you as young people to thrive, and we do this by mentorship or training, one of which you are in at the moment, as well as an award ceremony, which is the True Little Hero Awards. True Little Hero Awards is an award that is to celebrate achievements of young people in the United Kingdom, and also we have a category for international, so we cover worldwide as well. Nomination lines for this, they're open at the moment, so you can go in there, ask your parents, or you can go and nominate yourself for any of our categories. It's going to be beautiful this year. It's a virtual ceremony, and it's always good fun. It's a shame we can't have it on site this year, but we will still have the same fun online. So please go on there. We've got various categories, scribe, music, dance, whatever. Just go there. Technology, go there if you believe you're doing so well in that area and you would like to be recognized, or you have a friend you want to recognize, go and nominate them for the True Little Hero Awards. Training, I did mention training earlier on. We've got other trainings that we've already delivered, and it's on our website, www.courseforchildrenlimited.co.uk. If you go there, you find the trainings we've done on the Flawless Communicator and Young Leaders Program. The videos are there, so you go onto our site to have a look. I'm hoping that you enjoy this program, and one of the things we always ask is that you please leave feedback. So during the session, towards the end, we're going to ask you to go to a particular site to leave a feedback for us. Please do that. It's important. We value your comments. They help us to shape our events, future events better, so that we can cater for your needs. So please, when we say feedback, please don't run away. Just go there and give us your feedback. And if you like what we're doing, we're on social media platform. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We have a YouTube channel, and we're on Snapchat. We are on Twitter. Just go and talk about us. Let the world know about what we're doing, that you've enjoyed your session, you've had a fantastic time. It goes a long way, and we value your contribution as well. And also, before I go ahead, also to let you know, I'm also an author, and I've written a book called Liz and Laz and the Secret Codes of the Magnificent book. It's an amazing book. We've got positive feedback on it. It's on amazon.co.uk, Kindle or paperback. If you fancy a good read and you're 7 years and over, it's a good book for you to read. Ground rules again. We don't want to be taking people off the platform. So please ensure that your microphone has been muted. Camera switch off. I know your faces are lovely and I would love to see your faces, but this is being recorded, and for security purposes, we would not be showing your face, only the face of the facilitator will be seen. If you have any questions or you want to make contributions, please use the chat box and we will attend to it. And can I just say that when you're then given the chance to present or talk, please be polite when you're talking, and be polite when you're also reacting to other people's contribution in the chat box. I will just be handing over to the facilitator of the day, that's Mr. Jide Iyaniwura, to take it on from here, and I will talk to you later at the end of the session. Enjoy.
Okay, thank you, everyone. I want to assume that everyone can hear me. If that is the case, I think there's a way that you can all sort of wave using. I think there's a hand you can use to wave that you can hear me. Do you guys know how to? Does everyone know how to do that? So you can wave. That's right. Just raise your hand saying, "Yeah, I can see you." Yeah. Anyone else? A few more people. I can't see you. I can't. Okay. What I'd like is for everyone who is on the call to please wave. That's the only way that we can know that everyone can actually hear and listen to what I'm saying. Okay. Any more people? Okay. 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 All right. Let me see if I can have a bigger window here. Okay. All right. Okay. It does look like a few people can. So if you can't, then type a message to say that you can't hear what I'm saying. But let's get started. There's a few other people who are sort of waiting on the to come in. I've admitted them. Okay, we don't have much time, so I am going to give myself probably about 40 minutes instead of 45 minutes to run through this, and it starts now. Thank you very much. So my name is Jide Iyaniwura. I am absolutely thrilled to be here with you guys. You might want to ask, why are we doing this? Why am I, spending time to do this with you guys? Let me just tell you. Well, firstly, I'm on the board of Cause for Children, and therefore all of what and it might seem like for some people is a lot of money, but what you have paid is going towards the contribution towards the charity and running the charity. But also, money is such an important part of life that you get to go to school, you get to be taught your mathematics and English, and people teach you computer studies or whatever, law, but actually nobody sits you down to really teach you the things that you would need in life, which are the things that equip you when you get into the real world. And money is actually one of them. The reason why most people actually even do or go to school, it shouldn't be the only reason, but one of the reasons why people go to school is to better their life, their lot in life, and be able to advance their life such that they can earn enough money or more than enough money to look after themselves and their siblings as well, and parents. So money is important. Money is so important that even the Bible says that money answereth all things. So what I'm going to try and explain to you is that there are 3 sessions that I will be taking on money. Let me just go on to that. If you can see the slide, let me go on to the second slide. Okay, right, okay. So going back to the first one. So the actual masterclass is aimed at teenagers largely, but also I know that there are people who are, in quotes, still teenagers but transitioning to become into adulthood. This is still for you. The reason why it's for you is that I say to a lot of people that I meet, I wish that I had somebody who was able to sit me down and explain the role of money to me while I was your age. I really, really wish I was. And if I had that, in all honesty, I wouldn't be where I am today. I probably would be a multi-millionaire. But we are where we are is what they say. So please pay attention to what you will learn. You're not going to learn everything you need to know about money in 45 minutes or 3 sessions of 45 minutes. But I'm hopeful that you will learn enough to get you thinking along the right lines, get you to start thinking about what money means and what you can do with money, what your relationship with money should be, how you can make money, how you can invest money, how you can save money. Therefore, the whole idea of what this particular session is, the first one is intended to give you an idea and deal with your relationship with money. Now, the reason why the first one is about dealing with your relationship with money is that a lot of people think making money is the ultimate, but actually, it is how you think about it. It is how you relate to. It's your mindset about it. It's how you create the habits and the things that you do on a daily basis. So what I'm hopeful to do, or I'm hoping to do, is to work from the inside out with you, so that I can explain to you, firsthand, how you should think about money. So the first session is really about introducing you to money, to deal with your relationship with money, how you think about money, the things you spend your money on, your attitude when it comes to savings, investments, and your habits. The second segment, which will be next Saturday, is going to deal with how you can make money, how you handle money, how to invest, and begin to think of a secure future. So when you start thinking about, and maybe I don't know whether some of you are already thinking about that. What would my adulthood be like? What would I, when I grow up, when I want to buy a house, or do I want to buy a house? Am I going to be a renter? If I want to buy a house, what are the things I need? What do I need to put in place now so that I can begin to think about being somebody who owns a property? What do I do? If I want to get married, I know for a lot of you, it's it's still very soon. You're not thinking about that yet. But those are I call them the life journey. The journey of life is you get given birth to, and at some stage you go to school. That includes university, and at some stage you graduate, and then you get into employment, or you start a business, whatever. And at some stage you get married. At some stage you have children. At some stage, you also you get into the old ages, and you start thinking about your legacy. So these are the life cycle of life, and you must think. You should never think that you're too young to think about the entire life cycle. You must begin with the end. What would I like my adulthood to look like? And therefore you work backwards. And what these sessions will teach you, hopefully, is to equip you with the mental and the physical tools that would help you to manage the financial part of the journey that you need to make in life. So the third segment of the program will give you the tools you need to build a vision for your future. So a lot of you have said that you want to talk about careers. What should you be thinking about when you want to choose a career that is worthwhile investing into and will certainly yield the investment that you think you want to get out of it. I hear a lot of people talk about careers, but not knowing that what they're talking about is hobbies. There's a difference between a hobby and a career. So I'm going to try and bring it all together during the last segment, the last session, which is the third Saturday. So let's get started now. So this is being money smart, thinking about money. Begin from the end. I said that earlier on. I'm going to tell you some real hard truths, some real hard facts. In life, maybe unless you come on a program like this, maybe if God helps you and you have a parent that is really, really financially suave, maybe if you have maybe 1 or 2 colleagues that maybe their parents or their mind is tuned into this sort of thing. No one is ever going to teach you what the best way to spend money is. Nobody. Nobody is ever going to write a budget for you or what to ensure that you stick to it. Nobody is ever going to tell you the best way to borrow money or should you ever need to borrow money. Nobody's ever going to teach you about money. So coming on a program like this, and when you find people who are experienced, who've been through the journey, who are willing to share that journey with you, their experience with you, I think it's well worthwhile. Please take the time and the opportunity, see the opportunity to get down and learn that. So we have to learn how to do all these things for ourselves. That's I did it. I wish I had a mentor. I wish I had someone who could tell me about some of these things when I was growing up. But other than that, we have to learn how to do these things ourselves. Although there's nothing wrong with asking for guidance from others, maybe parents and teachers, we have to become as clever as the people who. So in life, there's people who want your money. Every single place you go, you'll find people who want your money. So you have to learn how to be as clever as the people who want your money, so that as soon as they're asking for your money, either knowingly or unknowingly to you, your mind goes into a zone to ask the question: should I be spending this money or should I not be spending this money? So I am going to ask all of you a question first. How many? I don't know how we're going to get the responses to this, but I don't know whether I don't know how we will do it, but it'd be very useful to find out whether maybe by show of hands, how many of you have worked for money since you were born. When I say worked for money, I'm not saying maybe mainstream employment. Maybe you've had to do something, run an errand for your parents, and they had to give you money in exchange for the errands that you did. So it looks like, at least from an experience point of view, you have at some point had the experience of exchanging your time for money. Because what it comes down to is this: when you want to earn money, you have to give something to be able to get the money back. Primarily, it is giving your time. Largely, it is when you give your time, you do something for somebody, and in return, that person gives you money back. So money is effectively, if I asked you to define money, let me see how we're going to do this. I want somebody to tell me what the definition of money is. I can hear you.
Money is a currency that we use to obtain a service or item that we want.
Okay, thank you. Money is a currency that we use to obtain a service that we want. I like that. So the key word there that I would use is currency. So again, I'll still ask you, because we haven't defined what currency is. So let me see. Anyone else want to define money?
Money is an exchange medium.
Thank you. I like that. So you're both correct. Money is just a medium for exchange. Okay. Money by itself, is the way that we see money. We see sterling and dollars and people, but those things are what gives them the value is what you can exchange them for. So if at some point I say, whether it's Tumi or Moyo or Stephanie, I say to you, wash my car for me, okay? And I said, I'm going to give you £10 for washing my car. So, and it takes you an hour to wash my car. What it means is that at that point in time in your life, what you are doing is you're saying that an hour of your time is well worth exchanging for £10. Does everyone understand that? But as you grow older, I'm sure that when your dad now asks you when you are 18 and says, Sheifumi or Emmanuel or Tamara, can you wash my car for me? And he wants to give you £10 that he gave you when you were 10. You say, Daddy, no. I'm a little bit grown up now, which means you are placing a higher value on your time. So you have to see money as a true measure of exchange in terms of the value that you place on it. Therefore, one of the most important things you will learn on this program is that you must value your time accordingly. Okay, value your time accordingly. So at 18, the things that you did for an hour and you got paid. Sorry, at 10, the things that you did for an hour by washing your dad's car for £10. When you're 18, because your needs are hopefully higher, you've learned a bit more, and actually even more importantly, you can wash the car better and maybe even quicker. That £10 will not be enough. It cannot be adjudged to be a fair exchange for 1 hour of your time anymore. So at 18, therefore, you might say to your dad, "Dad, I need £15 or I need £20 to wash your car." And your dad will say, "Can you justify it?" You say, "Well, Dad, because I'll wash it cleaner, it'll be a lot better, I'll be able to do it quicker," and so on and so forth. So those are some of the things. The very important things about money is that money itself has no value other than the value placed on it. So what I was trying to say is that you must see money as actually a true exchange of your time in terms of value. Do you understand that now? So let's move forward now. What I've just explained to you, I've explained to you so that you can understand the concept which is on this slide, which is that when you waste money, you're wasting time and you're wasting life. Okay? So when you place a value of your time on money and you say that an hour of my time is worth £20, and when you go and you deliver a goods or a service for £20, when somebody pays you £20, which is what you exchange your time for, you must really, really think hard about what you want to spend that £20 on, because that £20 equals 1 hour of your life. And we all know that once you spend 1 hour of your life, you can't get that 1 hour of your life back. So inextricably, what I'm saying is that the value that you place on your life is the value that you must place on money. Because when you waste money, you waste time, and when you waste time, you waste life. So let me just establish that, because that is so important. When you're starting to think about making money, you must also when you start thinking about saving money, when you start thinking about investing money, what you are doing is you're thinking about saving your life, okay? Saving your time, so that you can accomplish the bigger goals that you set for yourself. So I'm going to ask you one more question. So please raise your hands if you have an answer to this. How many of you have thought about what you want to do when you get older? So I want to be a doctor, a lawyer, an accountant, whatever it is. How many of you have thought about it, and you at the back of your mind you say, okay, at least when I grow older, this is what I want to be. You want to get educated. You want to be able to be successful in the journeys that you want in life. But you see, these things take money. And as you move closer in life, as you get older in life, you realize that money and the way that you deal with money, the relationship that you have with money, is going to be so important in helping you to achieve these objectives that you set yourselves. You might think they're not as essential, but I'm going to show to you how important they are. So let me just share this with you. Let me pull this down a bit. There's this data that says 5% of the world, 5% of the money, of the wealth, of whatever it is that we call money, wealth of the world, is generational wealth. What you mean by generational wealth is money that has been handed down from great-great-grandfather to another great-grandfather to great-grandfather, and then to grandfather, and then to the person. That's 5% of the whole world's wealth. Yeah. And that is $5 million plus net worth. 15% of the people who are worth $5 million, yeah, sorry, 15% of the world in total are middle class. What are middle class? Middle class are people who do the sort of day-to-day work. They go to work, they earn, they can feed themselves, they have a house, they have a car. They're okay, they're comfortable. So where you position yourself, generally in life, they say, in terms of net worth, they say the middle class, the high net worth, and then you have the lower class. You don't want to be lower class, because what it means is you're going to be exchanging a lot more of your time for money. When you move on to middle class, you're going to be exchanging a lot less of your time for money. When you move to the higher class and you begin to move into generational wealth, what it means is you get into a zone where your money begins to work for you. That's where you want to be headed in life. Okay. What I'm trying to say in essence is that because nobody is going to teach you how to spend money, because nobody in your school or whatever is teaching you how to write a budget and how to stick to your budget, or if and when to borrow money, when to buy a house. We have to do that. We have to step forward and say, for as many of you that are willing to come on programs like this, then we are willing to give our time to do that. That's why we're doing this. So I would have asked you a question, but because there's so many people on the call, I'm going to still ask you one or two questions anyway. How many of you are familiar with financial terms? So if I ask you a question, what is an asset? What is a liability? What is credit? What is debit? What's overdraft? What's income? What's mortgage? What's investment? What is loan? How many of you, just raise your hands, how many can define what an asset is? Money into your account, or at least it is something that adds value. Yeah, I like that definition. Okay.
Yeah.
So what is a liability?
A liability is something that you're responsible for.
Okay, that's interesting. So I see your line of thought there. So when they say somebody is your liability or it's something that you're responsible, which is in effect very true, because a liability. Okay, I'm not going to answer the question yet. I'm going to ask for two other people to define liability for me. So,
Is it whether you'll be forced to pay for the a specific amount of money, like whether you go into debt or anything? It's whether you're like liable to pay that money.
Okay, so thank you. So your line of thought is along the same as the previous speaker. So it's about what you're liable for. Okay, you must think of asset and liability every part of your life. When you are going into friendship, you have a friendship that can either be an asset or a liability. When you're going to buy something, think of that thing that you want to buy either as an asset or a liability. So let me give you an example. You have got to a point where you are grown up now and you want to buy a house. So when you buy a house, is a house an asset or a liability?
Because it's gonna help you in the future when you have a house.
It's going to help you in the future if you have a house. Okay, all right. Anyone else? Do I have anyone else who's put their hands up? Buying a house. Okay, I have Benjamin Adeoti. Benjamin. Buying, it's a liability. Why?
Because you'll have to you have to pay them. Oh no, sorry, got mortgage. You'd have to pay mortgage to pay the house off.
Okay, all right, interesting. Who else? I have Moise. Moise, please unmute yourself.
I think it's asset because you can own a house.
You can own a house. Okay, all right. I have Feyi Afolabi. Is it an asset or liability?
I already answered.
You think it's an asset?
Yeah.
Why?
Because having a house in the future, you have somewhere to live, and it creates you to be independent.
Okay, all right, thank you. So I have Mayowa as well. Mayowa, okay. Is it an asset or a liability? Unmute yourself.
It depends on how it was bought, because if it was bought with a mortgage, then it's a liability. But if you own the house, like if it's your house, then it's an asset, because house prices won't increase anyway. So if you decide to sell the house, you're going to make more money with it.
Okay, interesting. I'll explain it to you. Priscilla Oshinibosi, unmute yourself.
Hi, I think it's an asset as well,
Okay.
similar to what the person said before, but it kind of depends on like how much money you're earning and like what situation you were in when you tried to buy the house. I
Okay.
feel like it's an asset if you have enough money though.
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to explain all of these to you down the line, so that by the end of this whole 3 weeks, you will understand what an asset is and what a liability is. So you've all done very well by answering the questions. I have a burning desire to actually tell you what the answer is now, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to restrain myself from telling you. Okay, so what about buying a car? So you buy a car. Is a car an asset or a liability? Fola, Adisa.
It's a liability because when you resell it, the price will go down.
Because when you resell it, the price will go down. Okay. Okay, Mayowa again, and then Priscilla.
It's a liability, because as soon as you leave the parking lot with that car, your car depreciates, or the price of the car depreciates, unless it's like an old vintage car which has like significant value. Then in that case, you can make more money off the car with time, but it does depreciate over time.
Okay, interesting. Who else? Was it Sean Kuku that wanted to? Okay, Sean. Quickly, we don't have much time.
A car is a liability
Okay, why?
because the cost doesn't go up in time and the value doesn't go up.
Okay, and the value doesn't go up. So let me, I'm going to take one more person so it doesn't look like Fola Adisa. Quickly, unmute yourself. I need everybody to participate. So not just these same people that are answering the questions. I need every one of you to be bold, It doesn't matter. There's no wrong or right answer. We're all going to try and enjoy ourselves and learn as we go on this journey. So Fola, what is it? Is a car an asset or a liability?
I've already said it.
Oh, you've already said it. Okay, thank you very much. So what I've said to myself is I really would like to tell you what the answer is, but please remind me, just in case. I'm going to make a note of it just in case I forget. But at the end of today's session, you will definitely understand the concept of assets and liability. What about credit and debit? What is a credit? What is a debit? Anybody, have you heard that term before? So if I say to you, I'm going to credit your account, or my account has been debited. Have you, anyone heard that term before?
Credit is, I don't really know, but when you talk about a credit card, it's the money you don't have.
Okay.
And when it's a debit card, it's the money you do have.
Thank you. That's the same concept. So credit and a debit. Now, you could go to somewhere and they tell you that you are £100 in credit. It means that you have £100 to spend in that account. So when you think about the concept of credit card, it's a misnomer in that sense, and it's a very interesting ploy that the financial markets use to let people think. When you think credit and debit, a debit card actually debits your account immediately. It takes the money out of your account immediately. But a credit card does not put money into your account, which is a very interesting thing. But we'll cover credit and debit cards going. But generally, credit is normally something that is a plus. A debit is something that is a minus. So when you say a debit card, when you spend a debit card, what it means is that it immediately takes the money. That's the minus. The money comes off your account immediately. When you say a credit card, what it means is that it's a crafty way. What they've done is they put aside some money for you to spend. In your mind, you think that money belongs to you, and they say credit. So you have £100 in credit to spend, but don't forget you will pay it back. So credit is generally something that is in there for you to spend. Your account is £100 in credit, or when they say your account is £100 in debit, it means that you have spent more than you were supposed to spend, more than you had. So please, please, please don't get confused by this. These are terms that the financial industry uses to confuse the young minds. Again, I'm going to, when I do the table of dictionaries and the words and terminologies, I will try as much as I can to explain these terms to you so that you don't get into trouble with those things. When I was your age, well, not quite your age, when I was about 21. True story, I got my first credit card. And yes, it said credit on it. So I just assumed I had X amount of money in credit. And the limit was £500. And did I spend that money? I went and bought myself a £500 car. A car, I mean, in those days you could buy a £500 car. So I bought a car for £500. Liability. Why? Because as soon as I took the car away, it obviously was worth less than I paid for it. But more than that, you must also think of liability in terms of something that continually needs maintenance, but which you are not going to recoup back in the future. So let me try and explain, because somebody spoke about mortgage and talked about if you buy a house, and if you buy a house on mortgage, then, you know, depending on how you buy the house, if you buy the house completely, it's yours. And generally, and as a rule, if you're buying a house is classified as an asset class, which means that so long as you buy the house right, even if you are living in that house and you're paying the mortgage, all things being equal, at some point in the future, when you decide to sell the house, the house would have appreciated in value, such that what you get back for it will be more than what you paid for it in the beginning. Therefore, what we call the net effect, what you mean by net and gross, again, I'll explain to you. What it means is that when you look at everything that you spent on the money, both how much you spent in buying it and how much you spent in the mortgage across a number of years, when you want to sell that house back, what you are going to get from the sale of that house must be more in value than what you spent in buying the house. So a house appreciates in value, all things being equal. So because it appreciates in value, it is classified as an asset class. A car, on the other hand, typically, and I like the definition that Maiwa brought to you, to say there are certain class of cars that are called classic cars. It's not all classic cars that are investments, but there are some cars that are defined as classic cars that if you buy them, because of the age and because of the rarity, what makes a car classic is that it is rare. And when something is rare, it begins to gather value. That is why you don't get gold on the streets. And that is why gold is expensive. Anything that is rare begins to acquire value. And when things acquire value, they become rare and they become expensive and they become assets. So diamonds are not picked up on the streets. So diamonds are valuable. And so diamonds or gold as an exchange for value, yeah, the value is very high. So an asset is something that when you then dispose of that asset, what you have paid, what you're getting for it is a lot higher and more than what you paid for it. In the case of cars, when you go out and you want to buy that shiny BMW, you know, I know that all of you young people, you want, you know, I'm sure you've thought about the kind of cars you're going to drive when you graduate and all that. So the reality of it is that as you grow older in life, you begin to desire certain things. When you desire those things, please stop and ask yourself, is this thing an asset or a liability? If it is an asset and there's justification to buy them, it is then worth buying them. So for example, when you want to make a decision between renting or buying a house, you sit down with the right people, they take you through the process and they say to you, actually, it's worth buying the house, because when you buy the house, the money that you're paying as a rent, you're going to use that money to pay the mortgage. But the good thing about buying is that at the end of maybe 10 years, 15 years, you can sell that house and you can make more money. If you're renting, You can't sell somebody else's house because it doesn't belong to you. So that's why buying a house, even though you're paying the mortgage, is seen as an asset, because regardless, you need somewhere to live, and you would have been paying rent. The same is not the same. It's not the same for cars. When you buy a car, not only have you lost the value as soon as you drive off the garage, you have to feed the car. What do you feed the car with? Petrol or diesel every week. Then you have to service the car. Then you have to pay road tax. Then you have to pay insurance, and so on and so forth. And these days you have to pay congestion charging. So a car continually takes away from you and brings nothing back. It's a major source of liability. So before you go and say you're going to get that car, you have to be very, very sure that you have enough to feed that car, because that car is going to continually take from you. Is everyone clear about asset and liability? I'm going to try and explain it further as we go down the class in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Okay, so we spend a lot of time on assets and liabilities because it's very important that you understand the background to all of this. Let me go on to the next slide. Okay, look at this slide and tell me what this slide is saying to you is that the journey you're about to go on in these sessions will help you to think about money differently. Okay, at the end of the journey, hopefully we all become smarter. We all learn something about money. We all learn something a bit more about what money means, how we make money, how we spend money, how we exchange money for our time. But I want you to please understand that you have to do everything in balance. You have to have a balanced relationship with money. As much as I will teach you about money and making it and investing it and looking after it, you need to have a balanced understanding of this. To the left there, you can see that too much money blocks your vision of life. So the reality of it is that you need money, but money is merely an instrument of exchange. Your objective in life is and must be to progressively exchange more of the money you have to free up your time. If you understand that, and if you have that at the back of your mind, your relationship with money will be balanced. So effectively, there are three. So the first one is if you have too much money, and what I mean by too much money is that you have too much money, you can't think about what to buy, what to spend money on. It blocks your vision of life. You don't understand. You have no vision of the realities of life anymore. If you have education alone and you have no money, it gives you a limited view of life. So you want to do certain things. You're educated, but there's certain things you want to do with money. You don't have the money to do them. It brings frustration. Trust me. When you speak to some adults, they will tell you that even with the level of the degrees that they have and the PhDs or whatever, not having the money to carry out their vision of life, to do the things that they want to do, to spend a bit more time with their family, brings frustration. But education and money puts you on a balance to life. Okay, having the right level of education that you need so that you can engage people, you have insight and knowledge into aspects of life, but having enough money as well to be able to do the things you want to do, to have a decent apartment, to have a decent car, to live a decent lifestyle. That is where the balance is. A life without education and money leaves you in the dark. Okay, that can be very frustrating. So not having an education, not having money, that is a dark place to be. So what are we trying to do here? What we're trying to do here is to take you through what I describe as the three levels of the journey. The first is you will be at a stage in your life where possibly you're going to exchange 100% of your time for money. That is, you're just starting up. You finish university, you have to get a job, or you want to start a business. You invest a lot of your time into making money. As you grow older, maybe by the time you're into your maybe early 30s or mid 30s, well, early 30s preferably, but mid 30s certainly, you must have gotten to the stage where you are either in middle management or your business has progressed significantly, such that you are exchanging a lot more of your time, of your money for your time, so that you can spend a bit more time to do other things, so that you can think of other new ideas, so that you can stop and start a business instead of working for somebody else, if that is what you so wish, so that you can take that additional course, whatever it is you want to do. The third level, which hopefully I pray that all of you get to, is that by the time you get into your maybe late 30s, maybe early 40s, you get into a stage where your money starts working for you. Okay? When we get into session 2 and 3, when we start talking about investing, that's what I'm going to be helping you to start thinking about, is how do I get to the point where my money is working for me? How do I get to the point where I am opening my bank statement and I'm seeing interests that are being paid on some of my investments? How do I get to a place where I am not anxious about money anymore? Okay, that's where we want to get to, but it's all in stages. The other thing I wanted to share with you is that if you don't have the balance of money, you will always think that all you want to do is just to make money, and it's a wrong mindset to have. I'm spending a lot of time this session to explain all of these things to you, so that when we get into the next session and the third session, hopefully our relationship with money is a lot more balanced. Our mindset is not just about making money, making money, but you have to know why you are making money, why you want to make money, what you want to become, what you want to spend money on. And some of the stories I'm going to share with you are very real and they're very interesting. So there are people who think that, oh, if I make $1 million, man, I'm made for life. Oh, my life is, I'm I'm gonna. There are those who say, oh, if I make $500,000, I'm good. I'm set for life. There are those who think it's 2 million. There are those who think it's 10 million. If you take nothing away from this course today, please take this away. It is not about the amount of money that you make. It is not about the amount of money that you make. It is about developing the mindset. What are you going to do with money? The principles of getting rich has always remained the same. Put more in, take less out. You have a surplus. Put more in, take less out. You have a surplus. That is making money. The principles of multiplying money has always been the same. When you put more in and you take less out, do something with the surplus that you have left. And that something could be investment. Okay? When you invest, it's about multiplying. I'm going to teach you a lot about investment in the next session. So what am I saying? Let's turn it around. And I'm going to ask you the question. Raise your hands if you can tell me. When you spend more than you earn, what state are you going to be in? Can anyone tell me that? Can anyone, if you are spending more than you're earning, what is going to happen? Anyone? I see Fola Adisa. Unmute yourself, Fola. Fola, you can unmute yourself and speak.
You're gonna be in debt.
You're going to be in debt. I love that. It's a very simple. It's a very, very simple answer. When you are spending more than you are earning, you are going to be in debt. Let me explain something to you. Nations get into debt. Families get into debt. Individuals get into debt. I'm going to treat debt as a topic. I think it's in the third session and it's so important. I would help you to understand different types of debt some people will tell you that some debts are good, some debts are not bad. But generally, as an idea, as a principle, try not to get into debt. As a principle, try not to get into debt. But I will give you some exceptions to that rule, which will, when we do investment, for example, I'll tell you certain classes of debts. I'll explain what leverage means to you, and so on and so forth. That can help you to use other people's money to make money. That's a different class. But as a principle in life, try to cut your coat according to your size. Don't spend more than you earn. Do not spend more than you earn. I'm going to repeat again. Do not spend more than you earn, please. Okay. I'm going to give you examples of some of the people who thought, these are lottery winners, people who won millions of pounds in the lottery. And I'm going to give you a link to a website. It's part of your assignment for next week, by the way. A link to a website. You're going to read the stories of those people. And I would like you to just give me a couple of paragraphs on what you have learned about them. So, for example, there is, in the UK, there was a guy, I think he was one of the first people who won a lot of money on the lotteries. His name was Marva Wilson. He won 1.9 million pounds, which was a lot. Before Marvin, there was a guy called Michael Carroll. Now, Michael Carroll won almost 10 million pounds in the lottery in 2002, I think it was. Yeah, in 2002, National Lottery. When you win 10 million pounds in 2002, it's almost equivalent to 20 million pounds of today's money, because you're talking almost 18 years. So winning all that money, let me share with you that as of today, in fact, as of, I think, it was 19 when he won that money. As of 10 years, I think it was about 10, 11 years after that time, he was living in a mobile home. He had no money left. So it's not really about, oh, if I have 10 million pounds, I'll be set for life. No, please have a different mindset. That's why I've taken more than 45 minutes to teach you about the relationship with money. Get your thinking right. As a man thinketh, so is he. If you get your thinking right, then you will understand that even the little that you have, you can make much out of it. Okay? There's a link as part of the end of the slide today. There'll be 2 links. One of them would be that you go away, read the story of these people. We come back next week. I want each of you to give me just a couple of paragraphs on what you've learned about these people. Okay, let's move very quickly. We spend a lot of time now. To the next slide. Okay. So now I'm going to talk about, it leads me next to a very nice one, which is about habits and paradigm. The people who won a lot of money, the reason why they couldn't keep it is they had bad habits about money and about lifestyle. A habit is an acquired behavior pattern, okay? Regularly followed until it has become almost involuntary. A habit is something that at the very beginning of it, most times you are conscious about what it is that it is, and you start doing it. So if you want to develop a habit of waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning, at the beginning of it, it's very hard because you think, oh my God, you're used to waking up at 10, you're used to waking up at 11. But if you've made up your mind that you are going to wake up at 6 o'clock every morning, what happens is you wake up the first day, the second day, the third day at 6 o'clock. Your body starts thinking and starts saying, when is the 4th day? Your body starts saying, you got to wake up. But there's a part of you that's saying, no, I'm so tired. But your mind is starting to say, no, get up. You now have to decide what you listen to. Do I listen to my body that says sleep? Or do I listen to that mind that says, I have made up my mind that I'm going to get up at 6? So typically there's a study that says that if we consistently practice something, a habit, consistently for 21 days, which is for 3 weeks, if you do it consistently for 3 weeks, it becomes a habit. So if you wake up and you make up your mind that you're going to wake up and you do it every day consistently at 6 o'clock every day for 3 weeks, it becomes a habit, which means whether you then like it or you don't like it, without you realizing it, your body will wake up at 6 o'clock. And that is nature for you. So it is very, very possible. Just give me 2 seconds. I'm going to pick up this call because I think Auntie Titi is trying to speak to me. I'm going to limit. I wanted it to be a lot more interactive. It's a very wide class. So what I'm going to do now is let me go quickly to finishing my slides. So what I'm trying to say is that if you make up your mind to acquire any habits, if you do something consistently for 21 days, it will become a habit. So when you want to try some of the things I'm going to share with you next week and the week after, if you want them to become part of your habits, take 1, 2, 3 of them and consistently do them for 21 days. And before you know them, they become a habit. A paradigm is a negative thought, is a negative behavior that you, without realizing it, you have subconsciously told yourself and it's become a paradigm. So no one in my family has ever gone to college. It'd be crazy to think I could make it. My teacher is out to get me. It's impossible to get a good job around here because nobody wants to hire a teenager. You can't get ahead in life unless you know the right people. These are paradigms. These are things that people say that negatively hurts them. So with paradigms, some of the things we're going to do with habits is we're going to try and sort of turn them around so that they become useful thing for you guys as you grow older. Okay, so let me go on to the next slide. And okay, so we have 2 more slides and we'll be finished. As a teen, and some of you are not sort of moving away from being teenagers into adulthood. One thing that you have to understand is that there are people who are out there to get money from you, and out to get money from you. As a teen, you are within a group that is highly valuable and you're intriguing to advertisers. And I know that it's very difficult because you don't think of advertising or advertisement in that way. You have what they describe as disposable income, which means you have money you can spend without worrying. You won't be able to, you are not thinking about mortgage. You're not thinking about buying fuel into a car. Advertisers want to, they want to figure out, how to get at you. How do we get this age group? They spend a lot of money in research on how to get you to spend money. Okay, so how good are you with money? If you're going to take control of your money and your spending, you need to know that marketers are throwing messages at you constantly. When you go onto YouTube, when you go onto TikTok, when you go onto Twitter, when you do all these tools that you think are free, they're not free. Facebook, all these things gather a lot of data about you that is harvested and sold to marketers. Marketers then use that data to target you with adverts on goods and services for you to buy. So I want to spend a lot of time, and I've spent a lot of time trying to help you think about the things that affect your relationship with money. Okay, you know about social media influencers, for example. What do you think they are influencing? Social media influencers are there to influence what you buy. Yeah, if I show you these shoes, I show you this bag, hopefully more of you will see it and they will buy them. So influencers are paid money by these companies. You are a generation that is connected to advertising 24 hours a day. You have this phone, they call them smartphones. It gives you access to advertisement 24 hours a day. So what I'm going to explain to you now, please, is that as we round up today has been largely about helping you to think about your relationship with money. Today has been about helping you to take a stop. Just stop before you go and say you want to buy something in a shop. Stop and ask yourself, do I need this thing? How important is this thing for me? Do I really need to buy it now? Today has been about understanding assets and liability, what you can spend money on, what you shouldn't spend money on. Today has been about valuing your time. Today has been about, as you grow older, maybe how you need to start thinking about the career and things that's going to make you money in life. So understandably, you need to understand money very, very well. Money is important for a healthy life. How you think about money is very important. If you think you can or you can't, you're right. There's no right or wrong answer. The role of advertisement is to make you spend money. Okay? New Look or what's the name of all the Next and H&M, they're not there for charity. They're there to make profit. So they spend a lot of money to influence your decision to spend that money. So your ability to take a step back and think about, do I need to buy this stuff, is really very important. Okay. The next thing I'm going to share is I'm going to give you a summary. I've spent a lot of time dealing with your habits, talking to you about how you should think and how you should behave. But I'm also going to ask you a very quick question. I don't want you to answer that question. I want you to go away this week thinking about that question so that next week when we get together, I'm going to ask you the question and I want you to be able to answer that question. That question is, are you good with money? Okay? Are you good with money? So I want you to just take 30 seconds, close your eyes, just 30 seconds, close your eyes, and think about the last thing that you bought that you spent money on. Was that thing necessary? Could you have waited? Did you pay the right price for that thing? Okay? You can open your eyes now. So these are things that would help you to answer the question next Saturday. Are you good with money? Don't answer it now, but next Saturday I'm gonna ask you that question. You're gonna answer that question for me. So in summary, let me just summarize what we've done today. In summary, as a man thinketh, so is he, is a scripture within the Bible, within the Bible, which means your thinking is far more important actually, because it is your thinking that carries your personality and your character. So you have to get the right relationship with money. Money is important, but you must get the right balance. You must get the right balance. Your habits are very important. I just told you, coming on this session or this course is actually very, those who are on here are very lucky. I'm going to give you 2 books for free. They're PDF. So Mrs. Omole should please remind me at the end of the session. I'm going to send I'm going to give you a copy each of the 7 habits of successful teenagers or teens. I'm also going to send you a book which is about habits, forming habits. So those books, I expect you to read them so that by the end of the 3rd session, I'm going to ask you 1 or 2 questions about the book. Okay, so habits develop your character. You need to know that companies are in the game of making profit. Therefore, they spend a lot of money to take money from you. So before you go out and buy something, ask yourself the question, do I need it? A label does not define you. When you're buying something, it doesn't have to be a Ralph Lauren. It doesn't have to be a Gucci. It doesn't have to be Balenciaga. I hope I pronounce it. I don't even know how they pronounce it. But what I'm saying is like, wear well does not mean wear label. Okay, bear that in mind. Don't be forced through peer pressure to look a certain way. Okay, immense resources are put into advertising. The successful person, please bear this in mind. The successful person is the one who learns the skill of breaking the advertiser's lure. When you see something that is calling you, come and buy, come into this shop, you are successful when you can take a break, break your trail of thought and say, actually, you know what? I'm going to go away. If I still need it, then I'll come back and buy it. Don't forget, it is not only about the money you make. It is more about how you think about the money, how you control yourself in spending that makes you a success. I've given you examples of people who have won 9-10 million pounds and they've gone broke. So money is important, but also please change your attitude, change your habits so that you can keep more of the money that you will make in the future. That you can make money does not mean that you will keep your money. Keeping money is an attitude and a character matter. Okay, so I'm going to sort of end the session this week. 45 minutes, an hour we spent I hope you have taken something away from this week. Your assignment for this week, they're going to send you these 2 links. Please watch the first video. The first one is a video, the second one is a website. Please, please, please watch that video. That video is going to show you in real time how advertisers spend money on getting your attention. Because if you don't understand this and you don't see it, you will think that when someone tells you that you're buying something because it's in fashion or is in vogue, you're going to say this, or they don't want you to spend your money. Please watch that video very, very well. It's going to help you understand how they reach your mind to get the money. And the third one, second one is about is a website which is going to give you stories of people who have won a lot of money and they have lost it, and now they have no money. They're living in penury. They have no money to spend. Learn the story. See how that journey went. What did they spend their money on, and how did they lose that money? So that when we meet next week, I want you to have, by the time we meet next week, I want you to have given me, each person, just 1 paragraph each on the first one to say, this is what I've learned watching this video. And on the second one, this is what I've learned in terms of how these people have spent their money and their lives. The third one is I'm going to send you a gift, which is the PDF version of these books. Please, please, please read them, the 7 habits, or I might even send you a link to a video that explains the 7 habits of successful teenagers. So watch the video, read the book, and then we'll discuss it either the second or the third session that we're going to have. So have a lovely, wonderful week. I don't know if I need to hand over to Mrs. Omole, but the thing is, I'm going to hand over to Mrs. Omole. She's going to take you through, the last session of the slide. Have a wonderful week and have a blessed week. Take care and God bless you. Thank you.